today on ChaseJester, who is the person that contacted me within the last couple months, and I took an interest in his channel, and he had a that looks strange. It looks like I'm outside or something. Yeah, I am outside, and the deep winter freeze came back, but of course it is still winter, so that's not surprising. So if you haven't seen ChaseJester channel, how can I say in as brief as possible what would be the main general description I would give? I think that ChaseJester is a person who is interested in the matters of the spirit, which are the higher things of life, what's the real meaning behind everything, and he's a spiritual seeker. He does call on the Holy Spirit, which is something that I absolutely and fully and completely believe in as the highest priority of life. It's the only thing that is truly real and important. So at the time he has his own relationship to the Holy Spirit that I see and that I hear him talking about, he's kind of like an itinerant preacher. In other words, he doesn't have a denomination that I know of. But let's get into it beyond this description here, because there are controversial things which he says, and I think he intentionally does it to challenge people, and I don't think it's just for the purpose of controversy. I don't think he's doing it for that, although sometimes for people they don't know how to separate that out when they're listening. But I do. I'm not an emotional thinker. I'm a thinker in the high spirit, because that's the only place there is truth. So that's where I come from. And of course there's all kinds of problems when you start talking to people, because the majority of people don't have that kind of discernment. They're not the elect, they're not elders, they're not spiritual seekers, they're not aware of what's going on. They're basically going through life asleep, they're slaves, they are lost, their souls have been sold. But when you start talking about these things, you have to talk about it from a basis of facts, or I would say the higher facts of life, the truth of things, the truth of reality, and the real purpose behind our life. You know, what is the divine plan? What did God, our Creator, what does the King want for us? What does the Lord of Lords have in store for us? Who are we? What side are we standing on? What side are we fighting for? Now, the majority of people, as I said, will get into all kinds of nonsensical positions they'll take, arguments and debate, and I think what ChaseJester does is he presents the way he thinks, the way he understands about things, you know, the wisdom that he does have, and he expresses it in that certain way that he communicates, and you know, a lot of people tend to disagree. Now, that doesn't mean that I disagree. I'm not bringing up any of those points right now. I'm just giving a description of what I think is going on with him, what I see in the channel and the show that he is publicly broadcasting. He is a public figure, such as myself. He's looking for views. He's looking to be out there. Once you start, you cannot end that. You are a public figure. You are in the public domain. You may prove your point and bring your message out. You may get famous, whatever it might be. For some people, that's the object, that's the goal. For some people, it doesn't matter, it just comes along with the territory. You're just doing what you gotta do to express truth. That's what a spiritual seeker does. Now, lately, let's get beyond this description of, you know, just what he generally has presented. He's in a huge conflict right now with at least one or two other parties who also seem to be described as itinerant preachers, theologians, and people who are seeking spiritual knowledge, spiritual truth. And one of them is called Harland, or Harland Hay, possibly his last name. I'm not sure if I caught that exactly, and this person has a wife. And there's also a person named Stephen Brown. Now, I haven't seen them in their likeness through videos or any channel. I don't know where to find it, so I don't know anything about it. The only thing that I know is in one of the videos that he did recently, he played audio in the background, You're just looking at what you usually see when he does a vlog, but you hear the voice playing in the background, which is apparently leads me to believe that that is Harlan Hay making those comments. So the way the scenario is being presented is that they have this huge conflict because there's all this division now, whereas for a few years they have been really close and really working on something together and seem to have the same beliefs when they're working on it. So what I want to say is that he is presenting this, he's exposing it to the world. He wants people to see who they believe in, who's doing wrong, who's calling false accusations, bearing false witness against others. Right now, I don't have enough details yet. I'm just saying that I have looked into it. It's something that I've done. I'm not obsessed with it. I probably watched about half a dozen videos recently in the past month. And one interesting video that I saw, it seemed to come out yesterday, I think it was, a different person on the channel, and she described herself as being his wife. So I thought that that was significant because I had never seen him do that before. And on his current channel, I think he had a previous channel. I don't know what was on it. Like I said, this was less than a year ago when I started finding out about it. So I'm just putting in my statement about it. I'm not taking any sides, and I'm also going to say that right now I haven't been asked to, and I don't expect to be a judge to divide up who's right or wrong. I'm not going to play judge, not right now. I will say that I do have the capability to discern it and to figure that out, but I'm not doing that. I'm not being asked to do that. I think just everyone as a part of the audience, the general audience in the YouTube community, if you're interested in these things, you can form your own opinion, and you can also decide what does it mean for you and can help you relate to it. What I'm going to say is that I find this to be very common. A lot of times people are with each other and then they're against each other. There's a lot of conflict that goes on in life. I think it's a necessary part of the struggle. I think that eventually when someone gets into these emotional states and these conflicts and these debates or division against others, they eventually learn. They have the capability, they have the potential to learn from it, to realize that they made a mistake. We all make mistakes, and sometimes the mistake has to do with not really making a mistake. I'm going to speak for myself and give you one example. I would describe myself as so arrogant to have thought that I could teach some other people, and which I have found out that no matter how much I tell them, no matter how much I explain and try to be a reflection, a mirror to them, and just show them, hey, this is what you do, this is what you repeatedly do, this is your pattern, this is your behavior. But no matter how much I do that for them, as unbiased as possible, just as trying to be compassionate to show them, look, this is what you do, no matter what I show them, they don't want to respond to it. They don't want to change, they don't want to improve. They just jump right back to those behaviors, and very often what I find is that the behavior is used against myself, even though I felt like I was the person that was trying to help. So these type of human relationships could go on for years, and then you suddenly have to sit back and say, what is going on here? Am I doing something wrong? Am I to blame for this? So like I just said, I describe myself as so arrogant to come in and think because I feel like I have more knowledge, I'm more of an elder in life, I feel like I've learned some things, but I felt like I can impose what I know on other people, but that is wrong of me. That is a mistake that I clearly made, and I always admit to my mistakes, especially when I can tell other people, and maybe it will help them to live their own life and to improve, because that's what we're here for. Everyone who's wise, everyone who has a conscience, everyone who values their life, they want to improve. So I'm just offering that, but I'm not going to go so far as to think that I can teach you. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other. You can take this however you want. I always tell you, take it with a grain of salt. If it means something to you, then so be it. Keep it to yourself and apply it to your own life. Thanks for listening, everybody. And as far as the Chase-Jester conflict, I'm not sure how it's going to be going on, where it's going to go. But I did appreciate seeing it and relating to it and trying to, that's what we do here. It certainly is better than watching TV. I think it's more real and it's raw and it's very fascinating. And his wife talked and she had her old expression about it. So they seem to be doing well. They understand each other. They're protecting each other. But as far as everything else, all this human conflict, this drama, is meant for those who can be able to change themselves and become better through it. And by all means, when you figure out you've done something wrong, admit to your mistakes, at least to yourself, and then you can move forward. Because if you never see that, then you can never change. And we're all here to change in some way. That's improvement.
Hi, you're here.